Who? Sophie asked, confused. From inside his shirt, the boy pulled a wet rose. The girl who's already protected me, he whispered. He leaned in and kissed her, slowly and deeply, his hands taking her by the waist. Sophie heard herself gasp, his breath filling her mouth, her body lighting up in his grip. She closed her eyes, lost in the softness of his lips, his hot spice scent, and the impossibility of this moment in the wake of all that had come before. His lips slipped off hers. She opened her eyes, and the lion was gone. Sophie stood there in the fading smoke, her heart throttling. A delusion, a dream, something. But then she felt a chisel on her neck. She wasted her fingers and put down the perfect wet rose, dripping with his sweat, that just light into her hair as he kissed her. But that wasn't all that the lion had left behind. Because across the stage, as the last smoke cleared, she saw a girl wrapped in Camelot's flag watching her pale, big-eyed face as shell-shocked as Sophie's had been once upon a time, when another wet rose had dropped into their story just like this. A rose from a boy who was never supposed to be in their story at all. Tedros, allies and enemies. He dreamed of his father again, staring at Tedros through harsh, peacock blue eyes. But this time, King Arthur was taller than he had been in real life, as tall as the statues of him that Tedros had desecrated. They met on the rooftop of the Blue Tower under gold night clouds. Tedros was in pajama shorts, no shirt, and his feet were bare and wet. He looked down and saw the roof was flooded with water an inch thick, mirroring formless clouds. Only the clouds had a different shape in the water's reflection. They looked like lions. His father wore the crimson robes in which he was buried, his bearded face ruddy and fresh, the way Tedros remembered him in the prime of his reign. Camelot's crown glistened on Arthur's head, and Tedros found himself reaching up to make sure his own crown was still there. It wasn't. They say he's your son, Tedros accused. They say you know who he is. Arthur grew taller. Who is he? Tedros shouted. Higher and higher Arthur grew, reaching for the clouds. Tell me the truth, Tedros cried. King Arthur roared, shaking the earth with his fury. He bent down like a giant and glared into his son's eyes. Unbury me, he said. Then the clouds passed down and deferred Arthur into the night. Tedros woke in a pool of sweat on a cold floor. He pried open his eyes and saw he was at the top of the dungeon staircase, curled up in front of the stone door. How could I fall asleep? He had to get to the 4 points. He had to find this snake now. Kay! He screamed, pounding on the door again. But the dream had felt so real, his father's words reverberating through him. For months he had been haunted by his dad, but this was the first time he had been given an order from the grave. An order that didn't make sense. How could there be answers in a heap of bones and dust? All he was left with was the widow of a dream. But what happened with the advisors wasn't a dream. That hinted that the snake was his father's son, which means he would be Tetro's brother. Impossible. He would have known. Someone would have told him. His mother, his father, anyone. No secrets like that could be kept for so long. Kay! Tetro's blood, blood draining the door. Faint shouts echoed beyond it, as if they were miles away. He had attacked the door for hours last night, shouting himself hoarse, waiting for someone to open it. It didn't make any sense. His guard, Kay, had left through the very same door. Tetro's heart stopped. Unless Kay locked me in. He thought back to their heartfelt conversation on these stairs. Why would Kay seal me in the dungeons? An oily gently coated Tetro's throat. Did Grimling give Kay her key before she left? Have Kay and Grimling been working with the advisors all along? Tetro's blood went hot. What were they doing while I was trapped? He battered the stone with renewed force. Shouts amplified outside the door, as if multiple voices were yelling at once. Tetros flattened onto his stomach and put his ear to the vessel thin slit at the bottom. Tetros! The voices called. Get me out! He yelled. Key! Immediately, Tetros fumbled his key ring from his pocket and pried the black key off it. He tried to slide it under the door, but it got stuck beneath the thick slab of stone. Tetros pressed his little finger through the crack, trying to flick the key to his whiskers. No luck. He put his mouth to the opening and tried to blow the key across. A piece of wire surged through the slit, stabbing his chin. Startled, Tetros watched the wire hook the top of the key and scrap it out the other end. The lock snapped at the door pulled open, revealing the shadows of Camelot and Guinevere.